Member for North Vancouver-Seymour.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Over the past 40 years, I have attended the Battle of Atlantic service pretty much every year, with the exception of when I was living overseas, and even then we stopped that day and acknowledged. So I'm going to speak a little bit about the Battle of Atlantic, which is very important to the sailors of our nation and was recognized in services across the country yesterday, including a large one in Victoria at the Cenotaph outside of the legislature and also at Sailors Point in Vancouver. The Battle of Atlantic, which lasted 2,075 days, was the largest campaign of the Second World War. It pitted Allied navies against German and Italian naval forces, particularly submarines, in a battle to safeguard the essential flow of shipping between North America and Europe. On any given day, 125 merchant vessels were sailing in convoy across the North Atlantic. It was during these treacherous, stormy crossings that Canada's Navy matured and won the mantle of a professional service. Our Navy escorted 25,343 merchant vessels across the Atlantic. These ships carried 181,643,180 tons of cargo to Europe, the equivalent of 11 lines of freight cars, each stretching from Vancouver to Halifax. Without these supplies, the war effort would have collapsed. Although it was largely unprepared for war in 1939, Canada's Navy grew at an unparalleled rate, eventually providing 47% of all convoy escorts. Rear Admiral Murray, the Commander-in-Chief of Northwest Atlantic, who directed battles from Halifax, would become the only Canadian to hold an Allied theatre command during the Second World War. By 1945, the Royal Canadian Navy comprised 378 fighting ships and 95,000 uniformed men and women. It had suffered 2,210 fatalities, including 6 women, and had lost 24 warships. It had destroyed or shared in the destruction of 33 U-boats and 42 enemy surface craft. In partnership with Canada's Maritime Air Forces and Merchant Navy, it had played a pivotal and successful role in the contest for seaward supremacy. Each year on the first Sunday in May, Canada's naval community commemorates those lost at sea during the Second World War, and they uphold the legacy of the Battle of the Atlantic by pledging themselves ready to face today's security challenges with pride and professionalism. The number of the ships that we lost were 24 Canadian ships, included warships, surface support ships, and motor torpedo boats. We also lost Canadian merchant ships, and we now recognize and celebrate the Merchant Marine, which we didn't do for a long time. We now recognize and celebrate the work that they did in this effort, because over 1,700 Merchant Navy personnel lost their lives due to enemy action, which includes Canadian seamen who were lost while serving aboard 278 Canadian and Allied ships of the Merchant Marine. Of the 70 Canadian merchant ships were sunk, mostly in the Battle of Atlantic. Also, the Air Force was very much involved in this effort, and there were approximately 350 aircraft lost and more than 900 aircrew killed during the Battle of Atlantic. They will not be forgotten, and we will not allow it to be forgotten. For when we go to the Battle of Atlantic service, and it is a service, it has prayers, it has psalms, it has songs and hymns. The thing that we finish with is the prayer of dedication, which you are familiar with probably from Remembrance Day, and it's the same prayer. They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemned. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Thank you, Madam Speaker.